Episode 2 of Growing My Own Food series. Today we are at Green Thumb to look at different vegetables and herbs. I have some ideas, so let's go and explore and see what they have to offer. So, the primary reason I decided to come today was because last year I grew some raspberries and they yielded such beautiful harvest. And I realized I always consume blackberries and raspberries, especially in the spring and summer months. And I absolutely love fresh fruit. And so I decided to add to my collection today. I'm going to grow some blackberries, and this one's such a beautiful tree, so I can't wait to grow her. I realize, especially going to the farmer's market, though it is probably the most healthiest alternative that you can do if you don't have your own garden, it can be very expensive. So I want to grow this so that I can really harvest from the spring and summer and I can save money. So overall, my return on investment will be worth it in the end because I'm growing my own food. So let's add her to cart. So we didn't record this process, but the reason that we have these beautiful plants here is because it's important when you garden to actually have pollinators. Now, this is going to attract bees and it's going to help you yield beautiful fruit. And it's also going to make your garden look really beautiful. Now, when I first started gardening, I didn't know about this. I thought you just had to have a bed and just different vegetables, and I didn't know why my plants were dying. So it's very important to note that. We have some lollies here as well as some different breeds, but it's going to look really beautiful in my garden. So let's keep going through the nursery. So we finally made it to the garden and herbs section at Green Thumb, and I will say they have such a beautiful selection, and it can feel really overwhelming as to what you will select. For me, I kind of black out and I add things and I'm not very intentional. So my tip is to really look at what you normally buy throughout the month and do an inventory. So if you notice you eat a lot of salads, if you eat a lot of potatoes and carbs, really look at that and then add that to your list as to what you're going to plan for that season. But for me, what I'm going to do is have my list ready and add everything to my cart because I know I consume these items on a daily basis. I want to have a better return on my investment, so I'm not going to the market every single day. I'm able to actually harvest my food and actually just be very intentional with what I'm consuming, making sure I'm not having as much inflammation by ensuring I'm not having GMOs in my food. Everything is just organic as possible. So we are going to collect everything and see what we can add to our cart. So here's some items that I finalized for my cart, and I definitely will be coming back because today will be such a busy, hectic day. But I have a variety of herbs and vegetables that I will be growing today. As you can see, I have a lot of lettuce. Lettuce is such a staple in my diet, and I love a good salad, so we're definitely going to come back for more. In the second week of May, my mom always grows tomatoes. She finds that it's the perfect time and weather to grow them, and she harvests so many tomatoes, so that's going to be really exciting. So let's go home and grow these guys so we can have it in our garden. Okay, guys, so I just came back from the nursery and I want to share with you my plan. I have about 6 beds available to use, but I'm going to keep one empty for the tomatoes that I'm going to plant in May. My mom is germinating some tomatoes that we got from the Tuscan region in Italy last year, and we are going to incorporate it into my diet. I've tried them last year and they taste beautiful. When you try tomatoes that you actually grow outside of the market, it tastes so different. It's like there's life in that tomato and it actually has flavor. And once you grow your own food, you'll actually see how things taste so differently. So I'm excited to incorporate that into my garden. So this is my plan. So I'm going to keep the herbs together and I'm going to keep the lettuce together in its own section. I also have some strawberries that I didn't show you that I bought that I'm going to add. I did grow some strawberries up here earlier last year, and I'm going to add it to the section. And then the vegetables, I'll probably end up using 2 or 3 beds for the vegetables, but we'll see how everything turns out. I don't know if my math will be off or not. I may have 1 or 2 beds that are empty depending on how everything turns out, but I'm really excited to start gardening. Now, here's a tip that I've learned from my mom is that when you keep the vegetables or the herbs together, they grow beautifully. I think they're connected to the network of the soil and the roots, and it keeps them together like a family, and they're happier to grow together than apart. So we're going to keep that same method and keep them together. But let's start gardening and adding everything to my bed. Okay, guys, so we just finished with the lettuce section of the beds, and that's completely done. Now we're going to move on and do this section of the bed that I have available to use. And for this section, I decided I'm going to use some onions, some carrots, and cilantro. I hope you can hear me clearly. I have a gardener next door who's doing the leaf blower, so I really apologize if the quality is not there yet. I'm going to try my best to speak as clearly and concisely, but we are going to do this section. I don't really have a specific why, but I think they look beautiful together, and so we're just going to put them together in a section. So let's start gardening them. Now for this section of the beds, I'm going to grow some kale. I'm going to keep them together and not grow anything else next to it because kale likes to be together and they tend to not like to grow with other things around them so that they can grow big and healthy. So we're going to garden them. So let's start. So I'm about to start planting these strawberries. The breed is called Chandler, but if you notice, this garden bed has some eggshells and these have great calcium and great support to your actual soil. It's going to add great fertilizer. It's going to make the actual strawberries grow beautiful and bright and big. So that's why we have some throughout the property. And I have some in the back of the property as well. I love strawberries and they're great for smoothies. They're great just for vitamin C and just helping support your system and immune system. So we're going to grow these. So let's add them. This is the last bed I'm going to be using today, and I'm going to plant my chamomile. I love chamomile tea. It helps relax me and helps me sleep. And when I get nauseous, sometimes I like to use chamomile tea and a little bit of ginger to help soothe that nausea. But I have some sage here and a few other vegetables that I'm going to be taking out and rehoming because I want this section to be primarily my herb section. I wanted to grow some lemon balm today, but Green Thumb didn't have it today, so hopefully we can find that. I'm going to add some mint and maybe some rosemary, some thyme. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I apologize for any audio issues. I had a crazy day today. Like everything that could go wrong today went wrong, but I hope you enjoyed this video and we will definitely continue to show more videos like this. I will be doing my backyard garden series and I really want to build new beds completely. I am also considering getting some chickens, but we'll see because I do have an almost 2-year-old puppy and I don't know how he will react with the chicken, but we have so much videos coming down the pipeline. So I hope that you just continue to stay with us, support us, and you'll see better improvements throughout the year. So I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.